Hey YouTube, it's me, Josh, and welcome to my final review of the Nightmare on Elm Street series. Okay, today I'm going to review the last Nightmare on Elm Street movie, known as Nightmare on Elm Street Part 6, Freddy's Dead. And just as a heads up, there are no spoilers in this review until the end, and I will warn you before they are coming, so right now you don't need to worry about spoilers. Okay, now many of you might be wondering why I don't really sound excited. Okay, I'm gonna get to the point now. Nightmare on Elm Street Part 6, the last one, is my least favourite Nightmare on Elm Street movie in the franchise. With that being said, the movie doesn't suck. I enjoyed it a little bit, but it's nothing compared to the other ones, and I'll get to why in a minute. Okay, so let's start off with the plot without spoilers. Okay, so basically it starts off in this mental institute, and it's an institute similar to the one in the third one, and there's a new group of kids having nightmares about Freddy Krueger. And then one day the kids decide to run away from the mental institute, and they go to Elm Street and to stay in the house of Nancy Thompson, because it's the only empty house they could find and they needed a place to stay. And yes, Freddy attacks them in the house, and it's about them trying to kill off Freddy for the last time. Now, one big disappointing thing about this last one is it completely ignored the events of the fifth one. Like, I was hoping for this movie to be about Alice, her dad, and Jacob as a baby, fighting off Freddy Krueger, but that wasn't the case, because Alice does not make an appearance in this movie, and you never find out what on earth happened to her. As far as we're concerned, she just went off and died in the hole, and I didn't really like that. Now, with exceptions of the Johnny Depp cameo, Robert Englund was the only person to re-inspire his role in the movie. Yes, he did a good job as Freddy Krueger as per usual, and it was good to see him again, but the new kids I weren't really a big fan of. I didn't care for them at all. I don't remember all of their names. I remember one was called Spencer. Sorry, I forgot what all the others are called, but I didn't really care for the kids in this one. I'll say that. Now, really, for most of this movie is really just a good laugh. I mean, yes, it's funny. It's definitely the funniest of the Nightmare on Elm Street movies, and it's not the slightest bit scary. In this one, Freddy is very laid back, like he kills people slowly. So, really, all this movie means to me is it's just a good laugh, really. That's all this movie really means to me, and it's a Nightmare on Elm Street movie. I want it to have a bit more to it than just a good laugh. And the killings, the killing scenes, there weren't that many in the movie. I mean, there were two parts in this movie that did disturb me. I mean, there was one really good killing scene, and that's the one with that kid with the hearing aid. I'm not going to say any more than that, but the one with the hearing aid is really disturbing, and as goofy as it is, I guess it was a good killing scene. And the bit that disturbed me most in this movie, and this was a good thing, but the only reason why it disturbed me is for personal reasons, is the bit where there's that flashback of Freddy as a kid when he kills the rat. I mean, the only reason why that bit disturbed me was because I used to have a pet rat. He's passed away now, so I've always had a passion for rats. And I'll say this, the movie's on for about an hour and a half, I'd say. And the first hour is just a comedy film. I really didn't care for it at all, and it definitely did not feel like the last chapter. And like part 2, it has an entirely new group of kids, and I just don't think that they should have gone there with the last one. This was the last Nightmare on Elm Street movie. Ridiculous. Anyway, so I'd say that the first Nightmare on that the first hour of this movie, I did not care for one little bit. Yes, it was funny, but is also really goofy as well. So the first hour I did not care for. It gets slightly better at the end, I guess. Like for the last 20 minutes or so, I enjoyed the last 20 minutes because it had a lot of flashbacks, and I guess I did enjoy the flashbacks. It's a very goofy movie. I mean, Freddy uses video games to kill people in this. And really, I didn't really care for this movie at all. Okay, now I'm going to talk about some spoilers. So if you have not seen Nightmare on Elm Street Part 6, please start watching this review now. You have been warned. Okay. Now, I want to start off with the Freddy's daughter twist. Okay, I guess it was a good idea, but I think if you were going to introduce someone like Freddy's daughter, introduce it in an earlier one, maybe like the 5th one or the 4th one. In fact, they should have introduced it in the 4th one, because that was the movie that didn't have enough story. But not the last one, because this film is more of a separate film. It does not follow the previous ones at all. It takes an entirely new turn. Like later on in the movie, you learn that Freddy also had this wife, and you learn you learn in-depth motives about him, and I just don't think that was the right way to go with the last movie. Did I enjoy Freddy's death? Yeah, I did, I guess. It was a good way to end him, even though this isn't really the end, because there's still Wes Craven's New Nightmare, Freddy vs. Jason, the remake, and not to mention the Freddy cameo in Jason Goes to Hell. So yeah, I'm not really very enthusiastic about this movie at all. I am enthusiastic about the last 20 minutes, so I just want to talk about that a little bit. I really like the last 20 minutes. I like the flashbacks. And I guess I like the way how Freddy was killed off as well. However, I do think that there should have been a bit more of a conclusion that says, that's has a bit more to it than just Freddy's daughter saying Freddy's dead. I mean, I guess the rest of the conclusion was in the credits, where you could see clips from previous movies, and just after the credits you see Freddy and then saying RIP. And so the credits were good, so hang around for the credits, guys. Okay, thanks for watching this movie. As you can tell, I didn't really like the last one. And next review, I'm going to be reviewing The Cabin in the Woods, which I saw last night. Thanks, guys.